Let's stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's our press.
Roll call, Mr. Brennan.
Honorable Mayor Ron Shaver,
Here.
Councilmember Dan Marlar.
Here.
Christine Casto,
Here.
Allison Howe,
Here.
Clint Anderson.
He's an excused absence. He's coming in this evening.
Okay. Lisa Northrup.
Here.
Kevin Lindell.
Here. Okay. First on our agenda is approval by resolution of the minutes of our December 20th, 2016 council meeting. Mr. Brennan.
Thank you, Your Honor. A draft copy of the December 20th minutes were included in your packet and are presented for your approval by resolution.
Has everybody had an opportunity to review, and are there any corrections or questions, comments?
They look good.
I would entertain approval.
Your Honor, I would offer a resolution accepting the minutes from the December 20th, 2016 regular city council meeting.
Second.
I have a resolution by Christine Casto and a second by Allison Howe. Vote by roll call.
That resolution carries on a unanimous vote of 6-0 with Councilmember Anderson absent.
Next, we have a presentation and possible action on resolution approving our 13th interim agreement with Northern Water for participation in the NIST project. Mr. Nation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here once again with another interim agreement with the NIST project. For those of you that are kind of new on council, every year we basically enter into a contract for Northern Water to perform services on our behalf as a participant in the NIST project. So this is just kind of the standard agreement that we have to sign in order to continue to belong and participate in that project. And unfortunately, along with that comes a financial obligation. So this interim agreement is still what I consider the smaller payments. It's $360,000 is our portion for next year's, or 2017, this year's work. And this is kind of what we're looking at as kind of the last of the smaller payments. Next year, 2018, we'll start moving into the larger engineering payments, and then hopefully within a year or two after that, we'll be moving into construction type payments where we're getting into the millions of dollars for our portion of that work. And so this, the 2017, the 13 interim agreement is for continued engineering work. I know next week at our meeting, we're going to already start reviewing some proposals for the engineering that'll go into relocating Highway 287. That's one of the biggest things that has to be done before the reservoir can even be built up there, is that highway has to be redesigned and completely slid onto the other side of the mountains, basically. And so we're going to do a lot of that work this year. Obviously, we've got to continue to get through this environmental impact statement portion of it. We're into what we always hope is the last stages of that, but as we get more questions that get raised by the Corps of Engineers and some of the people that oppose the project, there's still continuing work that's going to be done on that. So, but this is a standard agreement. It's the same one that gets signed every year. They just kind of change the language that goes. Jason looks it over for everything. And so what you have in front of you is no different than what we've signed the previous 12 times. It's just the dollar amount changes basically, and then what we're targeting that money for. I did want to highlight just for kind of general facts of why we continue to move forward in this project and why we as Fort Morgan see a need for this project. We continue to exist on a base water supply that we have to rent what we need for our current needs. And so we still have times of the year where we're using some rental CBT water in order to meet all of our water demands. Just this afternoon, I did get the final production numbers from our water treatment plant in for the 2016 year. And we had another record year. We've now treated, for the last 12 months, we treated basically 1.5 billion gallons of water at our facility. the 6 out of the last 7 months, we had record production at the water treatment plant. Some of it's weather-related, but a lot of it is our current industry that is driving those numbers. Cargill has been very steady with their use. We're not seeing a lot of downtime with Cargill anymore. I mean, they're obviously not in full production 7 days a week, but it's fairly consistent at 6 days a week. And even when they're down on that 7th day, they're using a lot of water just to clean in the facility. Leprino's numbers have increased a lot since their plant expansion, and we've seen a lot more water usage with them out there. And this year, and I was just talking with Jeff about this, we're definitely seeing an increased usage out of Western Sugar. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with the increased number of beets and everything else they're doing within their facility. And so we just continue to see our industrial/commercial numbers go up as we continue just to exist at the current population that we're at. And so it kind of drives home to me that we're at that, this project is important to us. It's something that we need to continue to belong to and participate in and see it to the finish line, because it's something we need as a community. So, but that's just my little political statement to throw on top of what's in front of you tonight. And so tonight, we're just asking for the mayor's signature on the 13 instrument agreement with Northern Water. So be happy to answer any questions you got.
Where are we at with for the average daily flow through the plant?
Average daily flow based upon those numbers, we're at about 4 point something MGD. We're still under
So we're still
half.
well under
Yeah.
the 10 million.
It's probably, and I've had the conversation with Al a little bit, because we're producing that much water, but we're not peaking close to that trip to where we need to redesign. It probably means we need to have more conversations about how to better utilize the storage tanks that we have. So they need to be drawing those things down and producing water at a higher rate into them during the nighttime. And so we still have flexibility with the current facility that we have to continue to look at being able to produce more water out of the facility. The next major thing that may come up with us is we draw on the pipeline into our treatment facility. There has always been the discussion that in order to get more capacity out of that pipeline, there may need to be a pump station purchased and built. The land exists for it, the plans exist for it. It's just a matter of when somebody needs the capacity, it will trip, and we'll have a conversation about building that. We've had some preliminary conversations with Northern just because of where our production numbers are at. That's probably going to be in front of us sooner than later. But at this point, it's obviously not in this year's budget, and I don't think it would be something in next year's budget, so.
We're going to probably be the ones to trip that one.
It's going to be a race between us and Fort Lupton.
Yeah.
Fort Lupton they treat water for that power plant that sits outside their city limits, and they're switching that power plant over to almost entirely CBT water. And
We
when-
still lease part of the capacity from Fort Lupton?
Yes, yep, we still have that lease. It's $1,000 a year. It gains us an extra 3 CFS or something at times of the year that we need it. And so, but yeah, we still have that lease in place.
Does anybody have any questions for?
When NISP becomes completely operational, are we still going to have to be leasing water? Or will we have enough because of NISP?
When we get into the NISP project and the yield is there for us to utilize, we would not need to lease water. There probably needs to be some continuing discussions, though, into the future as to our current lease supply. Is that something that we let get away from us? I have this conversation with Jeff on a regular basis, is that water has been in Morgan County. It was allocated to Morgan County farm use back when the CBT project was first put into use and they started diverting. And so there's a part of me that if we can afford it, that's the key, is that something that we should let get away, because it's a nice supply of water to hold on to. It's a large block of water. But we've got a few years to see where that goes. We continue to have discussions. Me and Jeff sit down with Riverside Irrigation on a regular basis and discuss with them the possibility of securing that on a permanent type of purchase, just to see where they are. Right now, they're happy with the lease agreement that we have, and so we don't push them real hard on it, but it's something that I think as a real long-term, type of growth potential for the county, it's something that we probably need to keep at least in our control somehow.
Thank you.
Can we release our lease? I mean, does that
We
make
do.
sense? I mean, so we
Yeah,
could
depending on-
probably keep it,
Depending on what
release
the
it
quota
to,
is, depending on what the quota gets set at, we've had some years that we've completely leased all of that Riverside water back out. The problem is that the dollar amount we pay Riverside for it is nowhere near what we get on the open market. So,
And that may be discussions, that may be the discussions that we have when NISP gets online with Riverside of what that price actually needs to be.
yep.
But they've been really good to work with.
Yes, they have. Yep.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I would entertain a resolution.
Your Honor, I would offer a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute the 13th interim agreement with Northern Colorado Water Conservancy District, Northern Integrated Supply Project Water Activity Enterprise, and the participation in the Northern Integrated Supply Project.
Second.
Have a resolution by Lisa Northrup and a second by Dan Marlar. Vote by roll call.
That resolution carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brent. Next, we have a presentation designating the city's official posting site for public notices of meetings as required under the Colorado Open Meetings Law. Mr. Brennan.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a resolution that we do at the beginning of every year, just reiterating that the posting place for official notices of meetings and agendas will be downstairs in the lobby of City Hall, and the newspaper to be used for publications of record will be the Fort Morgan Times. So it's the same one we've done as far back as I can remember, and so we're looking for just approval of this again.
There's no questions. I would entertain a resolution.
Your Honor, I would offer a resolution designating the city's official posting site for public notices of meetings as required under the Colorado Open Meetings Law.
Second.
Have a resolution by Christine Costeau, a second by Dan Marlar. Vote by roll call.
That resolution carries unanimously.
Next, we have presentation and possible action on a resolution concerning the establishment and operation of our bank accounts. Mrs. Kinney. Get comfortable. You look like you're going to be here for a little bit.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. These are just the resolutions that we do every year. We have a couple of new accounts that we didn't have before. They're on separate resolutions, and then we have a set of CDs, which we didn't actually have a resolution for before. So some of the banks had their own, and we got it all combined. So the first one is the number 6, the presentation possible action on resolution concerning establishment, operation of bank accounts. These are the ones that you've seen every year. The only thing different with this resolution than what would have been last year, for those of you who are here, is that we eliminated the police canine account because it was costing too much money. If you remember, during the year, we did that and we redid the resolution. And so this is that redone resolution. So we need to have this approved so that we can have the accounts we need to manage most of the business of the city.
Any questions? If there are none, I would entertain a resolution.
Your Honor, I would offer a resolution concerning the establishment and operation of bank accounts for 2017.
Second.
I have a resolution by Lisa Northrup and a second by Christine Costeau. Vote by roll call.
That resolution carries unanimously.
Okay, and thank you. And the second one is the resolution regarding certificates of deposit. And like I had mentioned, that's number 7. That's the one that we needed to do because we actually didn't have a resolution. Some of the banks had their own. One particular one didn't have one, so it encouraged us to go ahead have a resolution for all of our CDs that we have. And those numbers beside them are how many we have at each of the banks. The amounts haven't changed, the dollar amounts have changed, but not by a lot, but the numbers of accounts haven't changed. They're all the same as they were last year.
Okay. And this is for just the operations of our CDs.
Yes, just for the CDs.
But entertain a resolution.
Your Honor, I would offer a resolution concerning the establishment and operation of the certificates of deposit.
Second.
I have a resolution by Christine Costello, second by Dan Marlar. Vote by roll call.
That resolution carries unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Then the next one is for the account, the interim bank account. That's the one we set up when we went to a new plan administrator for our health care, and it has worked really, really well to have a separate account for that. If you see on that one, it has some names that are maybe foreign to you, maybe not, but Thomas Downey and Marcia Phillips don't work for the city of Fort Morgan, don't live here. They actually write most of the checks for that because they're part of Cyprus, which is handling that for us now. It's kind of handy to have it completely separate so that if we would switch, we'd be able to let one run out and use the other account that we have. We do use the other account to pay, and it was already approved with the first part, to pay payments that we need to make for health care directly. So this, we just need a resolution on this as well to keep using this account.
Okay. Operations of our interim bank accounts. Any questions? I would entertain a resolution.
Your Honor, I would offer a resolution concerning the establishment and operation of our interim bank account.
Second.
I have a resolution by Christine Costello, and second by Dan Marlar. Vote by roll call.
That resolution carries unanimously.
Thank you. And then the last one is the money market account, and that was what we set up out of the payroll money last year. Some of the payroll money went into a large investment with PFM, who does our financial investments, and the other amount is the amount that is the extra money we're going to be adding to it. In fact, from when our taxes are more than what our net payroll is that we pay out. And so that account, it gets a little bit of interest on it, whereas the other account doesn't actually. The other account gets charges. So
We like interest.
we like the one with interest. So keep it.
Even though it doesn't amount to much.
No, but
Better than-
sometimes it's better than investments.
Better than paying.
You know, when bonds go. Just depends.
I would entertain a resolution.
Your Honor, I would offer a resolution concerning the establishment and operation of a money market account for 2017.
Second.
A resolution by Lisa Northrup and a second by Christine Costello. Vote by roll call.
That resolution carries unanimously.
Thanks, Jeannie.
Thank you.
Next, we have discussion and direction on a date for our annual city council retreat. Mr. Wells.
This is a fun, this is a fun topic because it's a time that we get together and talk about the budget. I know everybody's happy to be done with the budget in November, as was I, but it's time to start again. So what date would you like to have a retreat? Usually we do February. It doesn't have to be February, but it definitely needs to be sometime before mid-March so that we can make sure we understand what the priorities are and start the process for budgeting. So
What's the time commitment?
usually we do it on an off Wednesday or an off Tuesday night, so it'd be similar to a council meeting, and it's depends on how
Until
much
we're
we want to
done.
talk. So instead of being on the first or third Tuesday, we do it on the second or fourth generally, but we can do it on.
And you're having your staff retreat tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. I guess the options would be the 31st, the
Mhm.
28th, or the 14th,
Of February? Or,
February.
28th looks
Yeah.
really good for me.
we decided we weren't doing the 14th, remember?
How's 28th look for
Many of you people will be in big trouble.
What's on the 14th?
Yeah, what's
I
14th?
personally don't care, but
I've been married 36 years. That's just another day in the year.
and you really want it in February?
No, it doesn't matter
We don't
what,
get this
as
channel
long
at
as we,
my house.
It could be the end of January, 1st of February, just before mid-March, so whatever's convenient for council.
So it kind of leaves us with the 28th of February or like the 7th of
Well,
March.
what works for, what date works for you guys? I know the 14th doesn't. I'm being
28th.
facetious.
So the options, the 28th, and what's the other day?
Or the next Tuesday that's off would be the 7th of March, which
Or
is
you
my
could do the
birthday,
30
so that's not
We
my
could do
preference.
January 31st.
Or January 31st, too,
Unless
if you
we have
wanted to do
cake.
that.
The 31st. Okay.
I
Or the
like
28th.
something better myself. So I could do the 31st, but the 28th of February is fine, too.
28th of February?
I say that,
Christine's going to be gone
Oh.
the 31st, so that does not work for her.
The
Kevin?
28th?
28th I have open.
28th, it sounds like the 28th sounds good.
I'll text it.
What say you, Mr. Lindell?
we'll just tell Clint where to be.
Okay. Does that work for you,
I'm
Kev?
open on
All right.
the 28th.
28th of February it is. Any, we'll discuss any requests for venue or anything like that. We can kind of figure that out. Find a
Tell us
place.
where to be.
I kind of
Okay.
like Kona better than the Big Island.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I kind of like Jamaica, so, can we take that?
I kind of like Kevin's idea.
Well, we will be talking priorities and budget, so maybe next year.
We'll take
that-
Jenny with us.
Is that a 6 o'clock start?
Yeah. 6 o'clock,
And so we're going with the 28th?
28th.
Yes, sir.
Is it easier, is it better if we start them earlier? 5:30, 5?
I can't do earlier, but.
Oh, I'll be working that day, so 6 is pushing it to-
6,
for
okay.
me to get there.
Perfect. We'll do 6.
So leave it at 6. And
All right.
places to be determined.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll let you know very soon.
Okay.
So thank you very much. 28th it is.
Public comment or audience participation? Jenny, you want to say something to us? Reports by officials and staff.
We've got a few. We'll turn it over to Josh really quick, and then I'll finish up.
Are you going to be bringing up this all-city meeting?
That's on the 20th, right?
Just want to make sure. it's
Happy New Year, Mayor and Council.
All-city meeting.
Same to you.
So I'll let John talk about the press release because we've got some disruptions at the library, but I was here September, maybe, October, talking about an 1866 marriage proposal that Mr. Mack, the museum curator, had submitted as part of a contest to be one of Colorado's 10 most significant artifacts for 2016. We made the short list, which is when I came to you and we started the voting process, and we were notified and the selections have been made public, and we were one of the 10. So we are hold one of Colorado's 2016 most significant artifacts, and they'll celebrate that over the next year and highlight us in all their promotional material and encourage people to come to our museum. So just wanted to let council know. Appreciate and thank those who voted and shared that with their friends, but a win for the museum.
Way to go, Mr. Mack.
Thanks, Josh. Anything at the police department we should be concerned about?
He's like, nope.
Anything the public we should know about public
Make
safety?
something up, I guess, no. Our new chief, Paul Schultz, will be here on the 9th, next Monday. Also on that day at 2 o'clock at the high school, I don't know if, John, if you put anything out or not
Yep.
to council? Okay. We're doing an unveiling for our school resource officer vehicle in collaboration with Artworks, a company out of metro area, Fort Morgan Booster Club, and the police department, that we were fortunate to get some graphics put on that the kids actually, 2 of the kids put in some artwork stuff for it. And so we're going to do a quick unveiling on that. Apparently, it kind of came out a little bit sooner than I expected, and it's been all over Facebook already. So, but everybody's invited to that at 2 o'clock. It's nothing real fancy or anything. We just want to specifically recognize the kids in the Booster Club for putting forth all the effort to get it done.
Well, it's Monday the
The
9th.
design is fancy, though, right?
Yes.
It is, the
Yeah, the
design
design
is
is awesome.
very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, very good. We're going to be having the all-city meeting. Council is invited to that on the 20th. That's going to be a great meeting, right, John? We always have great meetings. And it's going to be, I think we're starting at 3:30?
30.
3? Is that at 3? We're starting at 3. And it'll be in the same location at the awesome, accommodating electric department. So this year we've got kind of an interesting agenda with the really good speaker, and for, like I said, this is our kickoff meeting for the employees, where we get opportunity to discuss a few things that are important, get people motivated and focused on 2017 and all the great things that we're going to do. So council's invited. We'd love to have you there. Not mandatory for council, mandatory for all the other employees, but would like it if you could come. So I think that's all that we've got. Any questions? All right.
Who's the speaker? Or is it a surprise?
It's kind of a surprise. I'll let you know after. It's kind of a surprise. It's not me.
Yeah, it's a motivational speaker.
I know you're surprised. It's not me.
You can speak?
At length.
Yeah.
Okay. Bids, meetings, and announcements. Mr. Brennan.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's the start of the year, so the bids are going to start coming pretty fast and furious. Only, I think, 4 or 5 so far. City's accepting sealed bids for two police patrol vehicles until January 5th at 3 p.m. Sealed unit price bids for 2017 on-call services for wet utility repairs and excavating projects until 3:45 p.m. on January 10th. Sealed bids for 2 irrigation well houses until 3:45 p.m. on January 24th. And proposals for engineering services for the Light and Power Department until 4 p.m. on January 26th. Under meetings, the Planning Commission is scheduled to meet on January 9th at 4:30 p.m. January 10th at 1:30, the Senior Citizen Advisory Board meeting is scheduled at the Senior Center. January 11th at 5:30 p.m., the Golf Course Advisory Board is scheduled to meet at Quail Dunes. And January 11th at noon, the Airport Advisory Board is scheduled to meet at the airport. All city offices will be closed on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 16th, and the next City Council regular meeting will be January 17th at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. What Josh kind of alluded to, the museum and library, they'll be tearing out the old carpet in the main library, and I believe downstairs in the children's library. In any case, the building will be open, the library and children's library will be closed, the museum and gift shop will remain open for the rest of this week. They're shooting for Friday to have that done. It could go into Saturday, I guess. We'll update as that information becomes available. The library staff will be able to retrieve some materials. If people have something set aside and want to pick it up, the library staff can probably get that for them, and you can call the library for more information on that. Christmas tree recycling is underway at the vacant lot west of the animal shelter at 900 East Railroad. Trees will be accepted there until January 31st. The Schoolhouse Museum exhibit closed at the museum, and the next one will be opening January 14th and will feature inauguration posters for presidents from George Washington to Gerald Ford. And the last one was something that just went out today about the school resource officer car and the design by the students at Fort Morgan High School, and that will be unveiled at 2 p.m. next Monday, January 9th, in front of the high school. And all these news releases are on our website as well.
Is there anything from council? No? Well,
Is this going to be the shortest meeting ever?
No.
no, but
What's
it's
the
pretty
shortest?
close. It'll be the shortest one for a while.
Yeah. The mayor said
Short-
easy.
Short time.
The mayor said easy, and so we listened.
Well, and we're going to be expecting it from now on, right, Dan? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Happy
think I
New
kinda
Year.
like it, so I think precedent has been set.
Enjoy this one. Meeting's adjourned.